Kate Northrup, and I'm here with Meggan Watterson, who is the co-author of the forthcoming book, How to Love Yourself and Sometimes Other People.
Yes.
Which I love that title. And you wrote it with Lodro Rinsler,
Yes.
who is a Buddhist.
He's a Buddhist practitioner and author of many Buddhist, wonderful award-winning Buddhist books.
Amazing. And Meg also wrote Reveal, a sacred guide to getting spiritually naked.
Yes.
Yes. So what I want to talk about today is love and the beloved. Yes. And you use the word beloved a lot. And if you follow Meg on social media, you'll find that she uses the word beloved a lot. And I would love to know what you mean by that.
Well, the word beloved first came onto my awareness and consciousness when I was in divinity school. Mm-hmm. And I started reading the mystics and the poets like Rumi and Hafiz. And the word beloved is a reference to God or the divine, but it's being able to, rather than worshiping God as like this other, sort of transcendent and very apart from who we are. It's loving the divine as your beloved. Mm-hmm. So it's a form of what in the Hindu tradition would be called bhakti.
Okay.
So it's this love devotion. It's understanding the divine as the love of your life, as your beloved. Mm-hmm. But the practice of beloved, for me, the practice of becoming beloved is this understanding that we already are beloved. Mm-hmm. And that the most important thing is not to find a beloved outside ourselves, but really to be able to embody that love that is love, that is love, that is love, so good. That is within.
So, when we talk about relationships,
yes,
especially in the personal growth world, which we both hang out in, although you might call yours spirituality, and those two things, there's a fine line. Although we were in Dubai, and what was the department called? The book department, Mike? It was self-development, but it was like, it was the self-actualization section of the bookstore, which I was like, I like that so much better than self-help. But anyway, in relationship, like with therapy and these different programs and whatever, a lot of it tends to focus on needing to become better in order to attract love or become different or heal or whatever. So can you talk to me a little bit about that? And, is that true?
No.
Okay.
Just categorically, absolutely no, because that reinforces the illusion that there is something wrong with us right now, or there's something lacking, there's something that we aren't, that is the reason why we don't have love in our life. And I don't believe that. I believe that it sort of reinforces that illusion that we aren't good enough right now, that we don't have worth, that's intrinsic.
Yeah.
And that's not my experience. It just also, which I know it's a barometer for you that works really well, it doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't feel good to think you have to be different to get love.
Like I have to jump through, certain hoops, or I have to become a better version of who I am right now in order to be loved. I mean, that just feels horrible.
It does feel horrible. And I was just telling Meg at lunch, actually, a while back, I was on the phone with a friend, and she said to me, well, Kate, probably when you figure out your money stuff, you'll meet your husband. And immediately I was like, I was just like, I don't need to be perfect in order to be loved.
Exactly. I actually write about a really powerful conversation I accidentally had with a famous film director.
You have to get this book to find out who this famous film director is and how Meggan ended up basically getting coached by him by accident when she didn't even realize who he was. Like, the story is so hilarious.
He has the best line for me, and what it was about the divine masculine, and that there doesn't need to be any circumstance, there doesn't have to be any condition that the feminine has to meet for the divine masculine to hold. That there is no, it's unconditional, that holding. And of course, you can understand that to be, if I'm, a woman, that could be a man, but in that situation, you know, at that time in my life, it was that I had to understand that I needed to be this masculine energy within myself, holding myself up in the face of loss in a way that I never had before. Yeah. Being there for me and saying, no, you deserve to be loved right now, the hot mess that you are. Like, there's no reason why you should not be loved in the moment. Mm-hmm. And that energy actually is the energy that then attracts. It's that total, complete self-acceptance, that absolute, unconditional being able to love everything.
So for someone who's listening who is single and longing for partnership, longing for the beloved in the form of a human being, also, you know, wanting to love another human being, like, how do you know, because people always say, like, you know, you find love when you least expect it, or when you're following your bliss or following your path, whatever. Yeah. But then there's also, you know, people who say, yeah, but you have to visualize it, and you have to, you know, there's a lot of different conflicting wisdom.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So for someone who is desiring that human love, what do you recommend?
Well, first, there's this amazing quote from Thunder Perfect Mind, and it's an ancient text of the voice of the divine feminine, and it says, since your inside is your outside, and what you see on the outside, you see revealed on the inside. So it's this idea that what we are cultivating within ourselves will meet on the outside. So it is not what we just talked about. It is not a sort of like if then, or you must do that, or. But what it's suggesting is that if we are cultivating this love, this rock solid love, I'm not talking about a love that gives up on itself, you know, when we don't do something we hoped we would, or things don't work out. This is like an unfaltering, rock solid love. You know, if we're cultivating that, it allows dating to be fun and light and an adventure, because we're not actually looking for love.
Right, because we have it already.
We already have it.
Right.
So we're finding somebody else to come join us in the effort of loving ourselves.
Wow.
And that is
finding someone else to come join us in the effort of loving ourselves.
And that's so much more fun, right? And that's so much more light. It's like we can enjoy meeting new people, and we can also really meet them on this level of engaging them from a place of soul rather than from a place of like our ego's needs. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I need this person to reflect the love that I am. Or I need this person to come in here and fill this hole that I've got. You're just meeting this other human being. And so there's that lack of expectation actually allows for a lot more to come in.
Yeah, and it's less pressure for the other person. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, that's a tall order, or like, oh, that's a lot of pressure, or, you know, whatever. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So, you tell a lot of really funny stories in this book, and so does Lodro. So do you have any favorites, either from you or from Lodro, of just funny, like, dating stories? Because what's so cool about the book is it's definitely a book about spirituality, but it's really real. Like, it's about, like, you know, Match.com and meeting people at bars and, you know, like, practical stuff.
It's about bringing our meditation cushion and our mala beads into the bedroom. Yeah. It's really about, I mean, because where else can we practice spirituality but in relationship, when we meet with those sides of ourselves that we can't when we're on a mountaintop and we can't when we're just, you know, in solitude with our... Right. So it really is the place...
Yeah, it is easy to... well, not for everybody, but when you are, like, on silent retreat, like, you know, by yourself, it's like...
Of course I'm going to hear...
Okay, it feels peaceful.
The goddess in a temple in Egypt. But, like, can I hear her when I'm, like, in the middle of a really trying conversation with someone who I love deeply? So, but yes, one of my favorite stories was a date that I went on. It was a blind date that my mom sent me up for. And
always, that's a great start.
And yeah, and it was the first try at it. And you know, my gut reaction to her offer of signing me up for this blind dating was like, like, no, like, you know, no way. But because I'd gone through divorce, I thought, you know, let's throw everything out the window. Like, let's just try or the proverbial, throw the net on the other side of the boat and see what happens, So I had that kind of open-minded, and so I said yes. So I went on the date, and I was sitting at the bar, and I was really proud of myself. I mean, I really was, because I had never actually gone on a blind date before.
Yeah.
And then literally a man who looked exactly like my dad. I mean, I can't even, it almost, I was almost like, oh my God, Dad? And then, and then he locks eyes with me, and that was my date. That was my blind date. So the aftermath of that was like, I had a great date. Yeah. My dad lookalike was actually a really great guy. He was, I had weird moments, of course, Did
you tell him?
Why am I, no, I didn't tell him.
You didn't tell him you look just like my father, because that would kill a date.
Yeah, it would, a little bit. But the aftermath of it was really interesting because, I realized maybe I needed to temper that wide openness with the barometer of, really checking in with myself. Because there is, we're humbled when we go through divorce or a really big breakup. We're very humbled. And so we're more sort of susceptible to taking other people's advice and then saying like, oh yeah, maybe that's what I need to... and that moment sort of grounded me back into this truth, which actually is one of my favorites from the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, where Jesus, who's referred to as the teacher, is saying, look out for those who will say, look over here or look over there, because the child of true humanity is within you. Look within, those who seek it will find it. And, for me, the lesson from that dad doppelganger date was that, I still and will always know what my yes is, and so even if it's something I've never tried before, or, all these different people giving me all these different, I took that to strengthen my soul voice meditation practice, and just, no matter what the suggestion was, just go within and just ask, is this something that my soul wants to do? So even when Lodra wanted me to get on Tinder,
right?
And, my conscious ego mind was like, again, my soul said yes. It was like, why not? It was like, why not? And it ended up being a positive thing for me. So it's like, don't go by your internal yes and no. Just that. It's very, very compelling to want to listen to what other people have to say.
Yes.
But it's actually
especially when you're flailing.
Yes, when you're flailing and you're feeling like you somehow, have been through something that didn't work out, but it didn't work out for a reason. Yeah. And we always get to take all the love with us, in every relationship. And so good. There isn't ultimately anything that's done wrong. It's then, are you going to use this as an opportunity to strengthen your own capacity to love? And that's the only, that's all there is. That's all there is. And so I would say for that dating space, just go within, whatever it is, go within and ask yourself, is this a yes?
Is Tinder a yes or a no? And you will know. You will know which one it is.
Tinder booze.
Oh my God, so funny. I actually had a girlfriend over, and she was single, and I was already with Mike, but we weren't married. And I signed up just because I thought it was hilarious. But we live in a really small town where I went to high school. So we were just having a ball, just being like ding ding ding. And then I had a match, and I was like, oh my God, these are real people and they know me. So I was like, delete account. But it's super entertaining.
Oh, it's like an anthropology course on how people present themselves.
Wait,
so many men on motorcycles and large cars. Oh, it was amazing.
Really?
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Very interesting.
So the last question it's kind of a big one. I think that our core wound as humans, most of us, at some time or another, is that we feel like there's a part of us or all of us that's unlovable or not worthy of love. Yeah. And, I know it's come up for me. I think pretty much everyone has had that at some point. So what should we do when we feel that way?
Yeah, I think that is truly the reason why breakups, divorce can be so heavy, is because it triggers that wound. And it is such a powerful, powerful opportunity when we feel that kind of pain to pay attention to it and to, in a way, be able to then embody what we feel like we lost in that other person, embody what we think that person is taking away, and really bring it into ourselves. So, this idea that, like, part of why we get so lit up and we glow and we, can really become an optimal version of ourselves when someone else is loving us is because we are allowing that love then to really fill us. But I think what we all truly want, our deepest desire, is to source our own love from within ourselves, because that is the most stable, that is the most it's the most unconditional, and it is that capacity then to be able to remain exactly where we are even when someone else leaves. There's this ability to, of course we're going to mourn the loss of the relationship, but we don't question our worth.
Right.
We don't question are we, capable of being loved, and are we lovable, and because we know that. And I described this to you before, but the experience of writing the book literally felt as though that worth crystallized inside me. Like I swallowed a diamond, and that just is always there and will always beam and reflect this truth that I am love and I'm worthy of love. And relationships, they come into our lives, and everyone is a teacher who comes into our life. And we're able to then, allow that relationship to cultivate this capacity for us to love. But this ultimate relationship we have in this lifetime, this ultimate gift that we have, is for us to achieve this embodying the beloved, embodying this love to the extent that even if things external to us are no longer there, we're still radiating that love. We still have access to that diamond no matter what happens.
Right.
So it's embodying that sense of love that you felt from that other person, but sourcing it from within.
Right.
And that, for me, has come through, and what I always practice and have practiced in relationship is using the soul voice meditation throughout. So I'm always cultivating my own capacity to love myself as I get to experience this other person loving me.
And if people want to find and learn the soul voice meditation, where can they do that?
You can get it free from my website.
Okay, so MegganWatterson.com.
Yes.
And the link will be below.
G-T.
Thank you so much for coming on my show. Go out and buy yourself a copy of How to Love Yourself and Sometimes Other People. I would also recommend buying it for your girlfriends. It's hilarious and so helpful. I love you, Meg. Thank you.
I love you. Oh, you're so warm.
I am. I'm like a furnace.
You are so warm.